What's up, peeps? Episode 10. Graphic content, man. Appreciate everybody that drops by. Make sure you thumbs up. People that watch this on the rewind, don't forget the thumbs up and leave some comments. I want to say that early so I don't forget. But I appreciate everybody stopping through. We got myself, Who That Comics, and we got
Boston Chris Comics. The great legend. Oh my
great
God. Look at this.
Look. Blast from the past. Blast from the past. What's up, Great? He's actually been popping up on a lot of streams.
So the legend is back.
It's nice to see him. He goes, "Is that Boston Chris? Hell yeah!"
That's right.
So, yeah. So hey, legend. Yeah, we've been doing. This is like 10 episodes. So we've been doing. It took a little break. It really should be like episode like 12, but took a little break when I went on vacation and stuff like that. But yeah, so we've been doing this. It's kind of like almost like a hangout, like an old school hangout, but it's usually just me and Chris, or unless we have a guest that wants to come join us, talk comics, talk movies, talk box office, talk Comic Cons, show hauls from Comic Con, stuff that we're thinking about getting graded, and we ask the chat. So that's all the stuff we do on the show, Legend, and anybody else who hasn't caught the show. So that's what's going on, man. I'll start with myself really quickly, and then just gonna say what I recently went to. I went to this convention called MightyCon. It's MightyCon, New Orleans. They go all over. It's like almost like one of those small conventions. They do have some celebrities. They do have some like art. They have a lot of different things at this little convention, but it's a smaller convention. They had the Black Power Ranger. They had Rita Repulsa. They had one of the Yellow Rangers who was like, I think Power Ranger Space. I think she was in that movie. So I don't really know her. Black Power Ranger, I didn't know. I wanted to meet him, but he was a little pricey. He was $60 for a signature. And for a small convention, I think that was too high. That's just like, I don't know how you feel about it, Chris, but like with these smaller conventions. When I say smaller conventions, I'm saying it was in a convention, but it was like half of a regular convention. So they split the convention like area in half. Because they had a card convention going on in the other spot that was like split in half. Okay. So to me, I think I know you might have set prices, and I'm thinking about celebrities. I think you might have set prices, but when you go to a smaller convention like this, and the convention ticket for a 2-day ticket is $25, it's kind of hard being. Yeah, it's kind of hard being like, all right, $60 for an auto. I didn't even look at the rest of the sheet to see what else he had, but when I saw 60 for an auto, I was like, oh my god. Yeah, like if you want a picture in auto, probably the picture in the auto probably is 80 or 100. Thinking,
which that is a little bit pricey. I mean, but I understand if it's like like you said, he has a set price or whatever like that. But that's definitely something where if you're expecting to go to a small show, I think you would kind of adjust to do a little better for the people that are going to show up.
Blinkers at 60 is too much. Blinker, come join the show, man. Come join the show. Listen, come. You're welcome to join if you're available, Blink. But Rita, a lady who played Rita Repulsa,
she's still around,
40. Huh? She was 40. She's still, she's a lot older, but man, she was she was $40 for an auto, and for cool. auto and a picture was $60. I thought that was reasonable because the comic book was it the guys from Clerks? So you had the
Dante and Randall.
Yes, they were just $30 for an auto. I thought I thought that price was great. What's up, Michael Baker? We discussed. I'm talking about MightyCon and kind of like what I saw and experienced because I filmed a little bit for you guys, but this is kind of me talking. Then we're going to talk about Chris because he has a convention coming up. A couple of them actually. I know you got a couple in the area. I know you got you might not be going. Baltimore, I know is coming up too as well. I just thought the pricing, like Dante and what you call it, with $30. I thought that was fair. I thought that was very fair. The problem is they didn't have anybody there for them. I was thinking about it, but I was like, I really don't have like. They did have a picture with Clerks too, with all like that was my favorite Clerks movie. So I could have got that autograph for $30 a piece, but I don't. It just I decided not to.
The thing is, something like that. I mean, I would feel like, I mean, being a comic collector is like, you'd have to have like, the Clerks comic book. Like if you have Clerks #1, then it's just like, all right, perfect. Like, would you mind, so or just something with it. Like even if you had like the movie poster or something like that, or the DVD, so something where
they had like looked like they had a mini kind of. It looked just like the movie poster for Clerks too, but it was a mini, about this size. So I thought about that when I saw that on the table. Because I said, man, that'd be cool just to get everybody to sign it, because that's like literally the whole cast is on that picture. You could, eventually you could meet everybody, even including Rosario Dawson. So I thought that was a cool one, but I'd end up not doing it, even though that was probably the cheapest price to get their autographs that I've seen, because I think they were supposed to be at Dallas. I know one of them was, but I think the one who played Dante, I think he couldn't make it, but I know it wasn't $30 for signatures. I know they were way more than that at Dallas. Probably double the price, but yeah. So I should have did it thinking about it, but the first day it was really like me and my daughter day. It was just like I took her. She dressed up. If people saw the picture or the video, dressed up as Ladybug, the miraculous Ladybug. She and she just and the funny thing is, I just asked her if she wanted to dress up, and she found that costume that still fit. Luckily, because she almost really outgrew that costume, but it still fit. She was actually trying to improvise the costume because she couldn't find the gloves. She was like, "I'm gonna wear some socks on my hands." Like, no, you're not gonna wear socks.
Yeah.
So if there were mittens, I would have said yes, but she couldn't find the gloves. But yeah, that was cool. Like, so that whole Saturday was really just walking around with her. She got to pick up a squishy melon, I think that's called. She got a commission art, so got some art commission done, and so that Saturday was like really all her. I went back Sunday and I kind of dug in a couple of spots, and I'll show you guys in a little bit what I picked up. But yeah, that was kind of my experience there. I thought that wasn't bad. $25 for a 2-day event. You literally, I think that was my cheapest convention I've gone to since COVID. So you're talking like the last 3 to 4 years. Because I think the last time they came was before COVID. So it's been a while since this convention has popped up. But pretty cool convention, smaller convention. The comic book, we did have a few people doing comic book deals, deals on stuff. What's up, Brian LCS, Mr. What's it called? The CBC Awards, comic book community awards. What's up, Brian? Appreciate you stopping through. So thank you as well for doing that that awards, and I'm happy. It's nice to see a lot of people get nominated, and I think I said it before on other people's channel, but I haven't said it on my own. But thank you for doing that. I appreciate being nominated, and good luck to everybody, man. So it's just nice to see a lot of recognition and community for that. So, but overall, I would say the convention was good. So if you guys go to it, check it out. It's a cheaper convention. I got a deal on a stack of books for it was like $300 plus stack, like really like a $360 stack. Ended up getting for $200. So I thought that was pretty good. Cash is king at those smaller conventions. I've found out. But yeah, overall good. So you have Rhode Island coming up? Is that a big convention or is it a smaller convention?
It's not. It's a pretty decent sized convention. It's not
a Heroes, right? It's not that like.
No, it's not a Heroes. It's not quite that big, but it is a pretty decent amount of people that they get to go there. They get a good amount of celebrities. They have somebody just powered up.
That's my phone.
They get a good amount of celebrities there. They get actually a good amount of comic artists as well, and they spread it out between the convention center that they have, and then they also have another building that's like next door, so it kind of like flows in between those two, and it's really I think a decent show. I mean, this year the guest list is pretty good. Last year was pretty good too, and it was the first time I had gone. But I enjoyed it. I think it's it's not too bad. It's a little further out than the Boston shows that I normally go to, just because it's a little bit more travel, but it's not too bad, and it's just pretty much just a easy weekend trip, and basically can get most everything done Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday is just either just kind of hang out, chill, or sometimes I would say you don't have to really necessarily go. Like I had to go last year just because I had a commission that was done that I had given to somebody on Saturday, and they're like, "Yeah, like will you be back tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." So I had to down and go, and so I did, and I ended up picking up a couple extra things while I was down there, and then I ended up getting back because it's during football season, so it's like I get back and watch the football games and everything. But it's really I think it's a pretty good show. It's a fun one, and it's not a long travel. So, but Kevin Eastman's going to be there this year, and then
Bleeker's arch enemy.
Yeah. No, not Kevin Smith. That's Kevin
Smith. No, you said Kevin Eastman, not Kevin Smith.
Yeah, Kevin Eastman. But he's gonna be there, and then the cast. So all 4 Turtles and April voice cast is gonna be there. So it's just like it's pretty cool to get all of them to sign a book. The whole cast of the I think all the X-Men, I think Mr. Sinister, and they had one other person from the all the X-Men, Mr. Sinister, the core X-Men, Mr. Sinister, and I think Nightcrawler are all going to be there too. So if you have the X-Men Adventures 1, it's a good opportunity to get like a bunch of signatures all on it. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then just for comic artists, Jay Lee's going to be there.
Get your Century 1 sign.
Huh?
Jay Lee.
Oh yeah, you get your Century stuff signed. All types of stuff you can get signed on this. So it's a pretty decent amount of people that's going. And then because it's only August, so they can still add people, which is cool. There's a good amount of vendors there too. You can end up getting some pretty good books on there. And I'm trying to think, it's right next to the mall too. So it's like one of those things where if you're looking to it's like, I know a lot of times when people go to conventions, it's like, trying to find places to eat. And usually there's like, 1 or 2 spots, like there'll be like maybe like a restaurant attached to the convention center. And then, you have, whatever they have set up for their, I guess convention vendor or whatever. But there's a mall literally next door. So you can go right to the food court and get a bunch of stuff to eat, or just have a bunch of different options and then head back. You can just kind of like, if you've been there for a while and just want to take a little bit of a break, you can just go and hang out in the mall for a little bit and then come back. It's really just a overall good time. And like last year the weather was great. It was very warm. It's in the very beginning of November, so it's not too cold. It's not too warm. It's just like kind of that sweet spot of just fall kind of creeping into starting to get a little colder, but not too bad. So it's just like you can still probably rock a t-shirt or a very light jacket and be all right.
Yeah. So I like these conventions, especially not the ones that's not super big, because you can get a lot of stuff done. You can see a lot of things. You kind of can walk around a lot. So I'm gonna show some of the books I picked up real quick while I have them here. So these are the books I kind of picked up from the Mighty Con. If Bonnie's available, I'll get her to show her commission and talk about her cosplay before she has to head to bed. But
so you said it was what, $25 for the whole?
For the week. It was for Saturday and Sunday.
That's not bad.
Yeah. So first book I picked up, I couldn't believe I saw these in there. Nemesis. If people know the Nemesis storyline, but these are the Dynamic Forces ones. Mm-hmm. They have the COA in it. This was only limited to 2,000. So I got issue 4, issue 2. They didn't have issue 3. I looked twice, and I found an issue 1. And these all came with the COA sealed, Not saying I'm gonna get them signed, but I just thought it was cool to find all the Dynamic Forces ones for this run besides issue 3 on that. So that was pretty cool seeing that because I actually already have a set, but I don't think I have all 4 in my original set. So I got to see if I actually have a 3 and I end up picking up one of the books I don't have, or am I just missing the 3? So these are a couple of books that are newsstand, Star Wars Dark Horse newsstands. Super hard. So this is actually a first appearance of that character on cover, but it's, as you can see, it says Star Wars. So it's a high grade copy. So I'm probably going to send it off to get Dustin to do some work on it. Hopefully it comes back in the high 9s. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking at least a 9.4, 9.4, maybe 9.6. But it's newsstand from the 2000s. Nice. And this one, I didn't even know this was as big of a book in a newsstand. Well, I didn't know this was as big of a book, and it's even bigger in the newsstand. Well, I should say it's not that big of a book unless it is a newsstand. I'm saying it correctly. So you got Star Wars Darth Maul. This is his first series, but this is the photo variant that is a newsstand. And it's a high grade copy. This is another one that I think after press and clean, it should get the 9s, 9.4, 9.6. I'm hoping for. If one of those two hit 9.8s, then I'm very happy. But
that's an awesome cover.
Yeah, when I looked up this book, I saw price range from like 200 to like I think 100. Mm-hmm. I might have saw some a little lower, but it might have not been as high grade of condition. So Star Wars Darth Maul. In this area that I was digging in, they had a ton of newsstands. It wasn't just Star Wars newsstands. They just had a ton of newsstands in general. Because they even had some like Marvel newsstands from the 2000s that I passed on. I should have picked up. but it, you're not trying to spend too much money. You're trying to make decisions. So I ended up picking up these 2 that I want to send off to get graded. What's up, Yahweh? Yahweh in the chat. So these are some of the ones that I picked up. Some of them will get graded. But I also found these digging in the boxes. I found another newsstand, Boba Fett newsstand. This is actually one that I'm probably going to sell. The other ones I'm going to hold on to. I found this actually it's really cheap in the box. I couldn't believe how cheap it was and how nice of a condition it is. It's not like I don't think it's a 9. It's probably 8.0 to 9.0 maybe. Yeah. But the number 1 15-cent in Humans in Black Widow, it's not a cheap book. Not as cheap as they had it priced at. That's good. Now I found some signature books. I just gotta look. I forgot who this signature is. So I have to look it up. So I got Uncanny Avengers. I have seen this signature before, but I can't remember who it is.
I don't know.
But it's a sketch cover that I literally got for a price of usually where people sell sketch covers. So usually you can get them for like $5 to $10. But to get a signature on it, that's even great. This one I couldn't believe how cheap I got it for. Because I got all of it as a bundle, so I'm kind of doing it as a bundle price. This is the first Marvel Zombies, and it's already signed by Greg Land.
Nice.
So, and it's it needs to be in a new bag and board, but besides besides the little issue at the top, 'cause I took it out to look at it. Besides the issue, like the little kind of like binary issue at the top, it's a really, really nice book. It probably would get a 9, 9.2, 9.4 maybe. But already signed by Greg Land. You can't beat that. And I did get a celebrity to sign something. I found this book in the box digging. So it was a Virgin variant. And I got Rita Repulsa. I forgot her name. And I don't want to butcher her name, but she signed it right at the top. She actually loved this because she saw it. She's like, "This is nice." He's like, "Where'd you get this?" I said, "I actually just found it digging in the boxes." You found this here? I said, "Yeah, I found it here." Then she saw it like the Green Ranger and the Rita on the cover. She was like, "Oh," she goes, "This would have been so cool to get Jason David Frank to sign." And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of thought about it." and I was kind of like, but she signed it in green.
Yeah, no.
I said like signed it in green, in honor of him, and so yeah, I thought this was just dope. She was actually very reasonable. She was only $40 for a signature. But I had a nice conversation with her talking about.
So K-pop said that's a Papa Willie book. That's a Dustin book if he hasn't had it already.
That's a Papa Willie book or a Dustin book. If neither of them have it, they're gonna be asking me for it. Bonnie, you want to show your art?
Oh, you know what's gonna happen? You don't give it the puppy back. He give you the bird.
I'm just asking to see if my daughter wants to show her art, but
yeah.
So she pops up, but that's what I picked up and some things I got done. I would say Papa Willie or Dustin, both of those guys would love that book. I picked up other newsstand Star Wars books, but I kind of sold them on auctions. Pick up a lot more, but the ones I didn't sell is the ones that kind of like, especially the Darth Maul and the other book.
You know what's funny? I want to get graded. That Dark Times. I remember there was they actually had a commercial that I think they read it on either television or they read it on it might have been on the internet. It's like Obi-Wan is like, it's like, yes, it's like before the Dark Times. And I remember that they had like the the actual voice and everything. I was like, wow, they actually made a commercial for a comic book. That was one of the first like commercials, television commercials I think I ever saw for a comic book, which is pretty badass. So
let me see. I'm gonna ask her one more time.
Come on over and show them the art. See, my daughter's in bed, so if it wasn't for that, she'd be like, I can show you art, and she'll show you all types of stuff. But Bonnie does some really, really good stuff.
You want to show the thing you got drawn at the con? Okay. You can say that. All right. So she's gonna come. I'm gonna get this page ready so she can talk about her, why she got this drawing, and what she thought about it. Because she was directing my buddy Tim Leddy on how to draw this commission. So come on, you can show this one next. So all right, come here and explain why did you do this?
Well, I really wanted to see her like looking at the word because like I never saw like pretty much.
Who is that?
Princess Peach.
That's Princess Peach. All right. And you said you wanted to have her looking out the window at the land, right?
Yeah, but like sideways.
Sideways, and that's how he did it, right? Mm-hmm. He has the crown. He actually, and even in the land looks like a Mario land with the little. I got the little guys. You got the little coin. You got all kind of little hills. So did he draw it to your liking?
Yes.
And I think she talked him into a deal because this is actually a lot more detailed than he would do for what we paid for.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's good.
I'm trying to make a challenge.
Yeah, she was trying to make a challenge for him. Like, honestly, how I see it look. If I see him again, if I meet Tim again, I probably should tell Tim just to finish the body.
Yeah, I was about to say like I thought I ordered a body.
No, we just paid for half of the body.
Oh, okay.
And we paid for the background, the window. So that's why we only did that.
If we did pay for the whole body, I would.
It would have been like $100.
I would have used
So you think that one's cool? So you want to show your art, or you want to talk about your cosplay contest win first?
First I want to show my other.
All right, show me your other art. Then we'll talk about the cosplay.
And this is half of the cosplay. We're just saying.
Yes. All right. So let me hold it while you talk about it.
I won something from the play, and I felt like, hey, I need a family. So I made my little
minion family. Little minion family.
So this is the L's and like the M's and the S. That means how they are. So like daddy's O, mommy's an M, and I'm a L S. So medium.
Large, medium, small.
Then I have their names on the top. And then they're just SpongeBob people. I mean, like minion.
Like minion people.
But I did change up the girl's hair because, like, I was like, hey, I don't want to have bald hair. First of all, and then I just doodle.
Doodle. That was just a doodle, huh?
Yeah, it was a little doodle and a little just what I wanted to do.
Yep. So that was her doodle. We're gonna put this down.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'm gonna put it right here.
That keeps falling
Oh,
out.
no, I'll put it up. All right. So you want to tell them about your cosplay and your winning at the cosplay? So who did you dress up as?
Ladybug. Because
Ladybug?
That's the only size I had, and I liked her.
That's the only size she had, and she liked her. So it was two things. So, were you nervous when you did the contest? You were nervous, but you got unnervous when they called your name or number, when they called your number, and then they said your name.
I was like, wait, which kind? Is it the girl who had her friend, or is it me? Because I was like,
It was you. So, and you did your poses, and everybody loved it, right? Because I hope I got some of it on the video because they were clapping and stuff like that. And then, what happened when did they call your name because you won?
Well, when we was busy.
No, we were busy. We were coming back because we heard them on the tape on the thing, right?
Yeah, table con.
Yep.
And then we was like, wait, is that somebody else's name? Because like we heard like something, but it's like half of the name got cut off. So like we had to like quickly go and see, but is it us? Oh, it is us.
Mm-hmm. So you end up winning, and you got a little grab bag of goodies, right?
And also the smallest one that didn't have a grown-up in it. I was the smallest one.
And what did you remember what the guy said at the end, who was one of the the judges? You remember what he said?
I was the top.
He was top. You were top on their list.
Yeah, so that means
because you were top on their list because you were very excited, happy, and had good energy. And he said that was a plus. That was a plus. So they liked that you had all that energy, right?
Did I sneak the candy? And because I just didn't know what to do for the poses. It was like just do this for the whole poses.
So if you would you get in the contest again as a different character?
But until my Princess Peach or my donut costume comes in, well, I want Mommy to give me a costume, but she won't give me one.
Because we're trying to get the Princess Peach costume.
Yes. So for right now, until this, I can't think of a word how to say it. Halloween.
That's for Halloween.
I will have the costume.
And maybe after Halloween when they go.
I feel like if she doesn't, she's gonna be in serious trouble. Like the look on her face.
I really want the donut costume. I've been begging for a donut costume.
Okay.
Right, so overall,
you don't get that costume to her. I'll tell you that right now.
Overall, did you like the convention? Would you do it again?
Yes, but one part you forgot to ask me on the other day.
It's Sunday. When I went back Sunday, I forgot to ask her if she wanted to come. I do apologize. So I'm saying it live. I apologize. So thank you very much. You want to tell the people what you want to say? You're saying?
What do I say?
You always say thumbs up, subscribe to the channel.
Say big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell if you want me to be taking over my dad's channel. Now look at him. Look at me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And you love me more than him, right?
Oh,
Here's
wow.
Your art. Take your art.
Did you see the look in her eyes? She's like, if I don't get that costume, oh man, she's gonna go
that
get
has
you.
nothing to do with me. I didn't. She didn't tell me nothing about a donut costume. The only costume I know about that that I'm kind of in the hook for is the Princess Peach costume.
She's like, I'll have the peach. Oh man, that was fun.
And no, I'm not in trouble. I'm okay. And it's a hanging with you guys. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Sean, the Yahweh, we met up in Dallas, and my wife and daughter got to meet him, and he was cracking up the whole time when we were all together. So yeah, that was a good experience. If anybody wants to go to Dallas Fan Expo next year, definitely let us know. We definitely got to meet up, have some dinner or something. But my next convention is New Orleans Fan Expo, which is in January, so I'm looking forward to that. But it was a good time, good experience. That's all I can say. She had a great time. What's up? Oh, look at the speaker of this guy. Look at this guy.
Hey.
Nick. How you doing, Nick?
Nick, today, what you do is you put in for a day off for next Friday. I want no excuses. Like, I almost had to sit there and go and yell at your boss. I'm like, what are you doing? I don't care who calls. And tell me who called out. I need to talk to that person too. Like, who in the hell do you think don't you understand? I made a video. I did all this stuff to sit there and prepare. And all of a sudden, like 3 hours before the show, you decided to be like, oh, well, Nick's got to come into work. Nick is not working next Friday. You understand me? Boss and call out person. That's it. Co-workers. There will be no calling out on the 25th.
Hey, trust me, I hear you. He says, trust me, I hear you. Oh, man. I wanted to talk about a couple things that kind of came through the news, and some people talked about before, and like I think people just was making like doing videos just because people are talking about Apple. Is Apple buying Disney? This came out a year ago. It came out like a year ago, and then it resurfaced again.
Yeah.
So, people kind of like get misunderstood with the Apple buying Disney thing. Disney, I think, is in a process of selling off a couple of things, but it's not the movie side. It's not their parks. They make like a few $1 billion a year just on their parks. On the parks.
Oh, absolutely.
They are trying to get rid of, I think, ABC. I think that they own. Yep. So they are trying to get rid of ABC, and I've heard talks of ESPN because ESPN costs a lot. I don't think they don't really make anything off ESPN. It's really costs them more than anything. So that's the two sides I've heard. That's the two sides I've heard of them like trying to sell. So if Apple bought anything, I think they would buy that. But you know,
the ESPN thing. What the reason that they have trouble with that is because they basically have to get all the footage that they get. They have to basically, I don't want to say buy it, but they have to basically pay the license to show it on it. So what I heard that they try to do a couple times, or what they've tried is should basically I guess potentially try to get the leagues themselves to kind of throw in to have like part ownership of ESPN. So it's like, okay, you guys are all going to be part owners of this thing so that you can supply the content to ESPN, and you guys can make money off of all that type of stuff. But like, I mean, I think all the leagues are smart enough to be like, no, we'll keep it the way it is, and you keep paying us for us to be able to be able to stream, and you can report on all our games all day, but basically the way ESPN would be without the licensing of it would be like they can report on the games, they can tell you everything that happened, but they just can't show you anything. So in order to have those highlights and everything else, and part of the the stuff with the interviews and everything else, they have to pay all those different leagues, and I guess I don't know if they have to pay the original television networks they come from, but I do know they have to pay for all that shit. So like in essence, dumping ESPN, I think that's going to be the harder of the two to get rid of. I think ABC is easy. ABC, somebody will want to be like, yeah, like we'll go ahead and pick up all those shows and we'll pick up that network, and that's not a problem. But yeah,
because it's probably going to be content in like a library that can get with ABC, which I think would be beneficial to a smaller streaming company. So I pay $10 for Peacock and get all of pay-per-views with no extra. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know you get the pay-per-view with Peacock. Huh.
Yeah. So Peacock, you get if you pay for it and everything like that, or if you have the subscription. Before they went to the subscription model with, I know Comcast you got it for free. Basically, it was there, and then now it's like you have to, I think, pay like $2.99 a month for the ability to watch all the stuff. Which I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I understand some people are like, oh, it's $3 a month. What's the problem? It's just you throw that on your bill, it does add up. So,
but ESPN is even worse. Like Nick was talking about, if you have it separate, you're paying for it. But if you have it as a bundle, you're really not paying for it.
No.
But you have to pay an extra fee to watch the pay-per-views live. And then this is the other thing to catch with ESPN. I can't watch like it's weird. I don't know if you don't have cable and you just have internet. You have to have cable to watch ESPN, like certain ESPN stuff. Some ESPN stuff you could watch it through the internet. It's not a problem, but they don't have it where it's all of the stuff, and that's an issue. Because
and I think that's because of how they have to structure everything with the networks. Just because when you think about it, if you're trying to watch ESPN, like if you're trying to watch live sports, it's not a big deal. But it's like I think certain stuff where it's like, all right, so let's say like something that like football, if it's on the NFL network, I think they have to license that from the NFL network to get that on. So it's like certain things might be blacked out because of the fact that they have to get the okay from other networks and other places to be able to put it on. So
I know Thursday Night Football is through Amazon.
Yeah,
which we have Amazon, so that's gonna be pretty cool to watch. I'll be able to watch that now.
I hope it works better than last year, because last year was bad. Like really, it was.
But they had all bad games. It was all bad games.
Yeah.
It was like one good team and one terrible team. So they need to figure that out. And I know what they're trying. I know what they're trying to do, because like nobody really wants to play a Thursday night game. So they're trying to give good teams like an easy win.
Yeah.
But the problem is, who wants to watch it? I don't want to watch. I don't want to like for instance, Arizona is not going to be great this year. Like I don't want to see Arizona play Kansas City on Thursday night. But that's the type of games they would give you.
Well, it wasn't even just the quality of the games that was the problem. I mean, that's one part of it, but it was like the broadcast itself was annoying because it wasn't easy to get to. Like you couldn't just go on Prime and watch it. You had to do a couple other things to get it, and then once you got it, it was like the streaming was all messed up. It buffered a lot, and then it was weird because it was like not to say weird, but like a lot of people were like, oh, there's commercials in between this shit. This is So I mean, that goes without saying. If it's football, you're gonna have commercials just because they need the sponsors. But the thing that I guess it was a whole ordeal to get it up and running. So I'm hoping that they've worked out a lot of that, so it's easier to go ahead and watch. But if they get it to where it's easier to watch, then you're 100% right when it comes to the type of games. Like you have to have games that are worth watching, just because even the fact that the Thursday night games, when they were on just regular television, you can watch them. They were shitty games. Nobody cared about them. So it's like they were probably better off just having an extra game on Sunday, or maybe like split the weekend in half, run some games on Saturdays and run some games on Sundays.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like if you have a game on a Thursday, you shouldn't have to have a game the week before on a Sunday. Like make it a Saturday. Give them a little bit more. I know they don't want to compete with college football, but it's something. But you're the number one sports thing, dealing with that. But I don't know. They got to figure out a way to, because a lot of teams don't want to do it. A lot of people get injured and stuff like that. But hopefully we'll see I don't know what Disney's going to do, because that's what we're actually talking about, Disney selling stuff.
The whole thing that popped up against, because Bob Iger was like, we're looking to, and no one listens to the whole thing. They just listen to like, oh, we're selling shit, and it's just like, oh, they're gonna sell everything. It's like, no, like Disney's gonna keep as much of what makes them money as possible, because
if you listen to what they aren't selling, you just got to listen to what he said. They're not selling their movie side because he wants to streamline it and make the stuff great. Same thing with the Disney Plus. He wants to do it better. Disney Plus was his idea. People don't really forget that. Yeah. People get that. Disney Plus was his idea, so he wants to make sure that's streamlined and done better. He doesn't want just to throw on anything. Same thing with the movie stuff. He saw Kevin Feige getting stretched between too many projects, and we're not using other stuff that we own. Like we're not using Star Wars correctly. We have some decent shows, but we're not using it for the movie side correctly. So like you're having a ton of Marvel like movies, but you could have broke some of those down and maybe had a Star Wars movie. You like Andor could have been a movie. You know, that would have been a really good movie. And people are like, oh, that's a great Star Wars movie. You know, so even Obi-Wan show should have been just a movie, a standalone movie, and it probably would have been way better. So it's like he wants to focus. He wants to get more focus on that stuff and make he wants what he said, he wants quality over quantity. That's what he said about the movies and TV shows. He wants quality over quantity. And that's, if you remember, that's what we were getting.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too that's kind of crazy is that when you think about Disney is that, like, I mean, on the animation side, they've really slowed down animation wise. Like, there's not as many movies coming out for, I mean, they I think of maybe like doing one a year or so, and it could be just the fact that it's you know, because there's more involved with the process that it takes longer to make them. But just in general, it's like, you know, Disney's animation side was huge.
I think they were doing two a year or every other year, because I think it was like a Disney movie and then they had a Pixar.
Yeah.
Okay, because they were like going back and forth too. Yeah, they've been doing back and forth. I would love. They need to get more focus on their Pixar stuff, which I think that's what they're doing with the new kind of. I hate to say it. That's why they're doing these sequels. They're trying to get Pixar back on the roll. That's why you're getting a Toy Story 5. That's why you're getting Frozen. Was it Frozen 2 or 3? I can't remember what Frozen is.
Yeah, it's gonna be
3. Frozen. You got a Frozen 3. You're getting a Toy Story 5. You're getting a lot of like sequel type movies that from great foundations. Yeah. But I think that's to get Pixar back rolling and get people to realize Pixar is a theater event, like a family event. If you remember Pixar, like Pixar movies were an event.
Yeah,
you're like, all right, I'm going to the movie theater to go see Frozen. And now you're singing that song, Let It Go 1,000 times. Or I'm going to the movie theater to go see Toy Story 4. You know, it wasn't like I'm gonna turn on the streaming device. You know,
like I know Frozen is more of it. Frozen is Disney. It's not so much Pixar, but the Pixar stuff is like Toy Story, Cars. What else is it? A Bug's Life was Pixar. You know, I mean, like there's a lot of stuff that they had on that end, and you know, the same thing. It was like, you know, if it was a Pixar movie. You
had Wall-E, you had Wall-E, you had
Wall-E,
the
Wreck-It Ralph.
Up was a good one. Up. So yeah, you got all these. So they're trying to I think they're trying to get Pixar people back to realize that, hey, Pixar is an event to go see, not something you go see at your TV, you know, which that's what was kind of happened the last 2 years. And COVID's to blame a little bit from it. But when they decided to do Pixar movie, like it was like 4 Pixar movies that were supposed to come out in theaters, they said we're just releasing them straight to Disney Plus. And I want to say, I think all of them were actually pretty good. Even Luca. Luca was like almost like an Italian one, with the little monster kid. Like that was really good too. It was different, and so all of them were actually really good. It's just that they went all straight to streaming.
I forget what the one with the monsters. Onward. Onward was a Pixar movie, and that was a good movie. Was it the other
Monsters Inc? Huh? Was Monsters Inc?
Monsters Inc. was Pixar. The University came out, you know, that was in theaters and everything. I remember that. And then was it Jazz? Was it Jazz? The one with Jamie Foxx was a jazz musician. That's a Pixar movie.
I don't know if it's Jazz, but I know what you're talking about. The one where he turns into a ghost.
That's a Pixar movie. But you know, it's just like I think you know, COVID. The one thing I say about everything, like, and this is what a lot of people kind of, I guess, overlook about COVID and how it happened and everything, is that it exposed a lot of flaws and a lot of things that you know, a lot of businesses can't recover. A lot of businesses are still recovering. I know my job and what I do, that there's a lot of things that, like, you know, it just kind of shed a lot of light on that. People were like, oh wow, we didn't know that this was like this, just because being able to having to stop doing business the way you did, and then having to change it, and then have it come back to be regular after that. It's tough. And so, like, I work for a university, and it's just like that whole like transition to being remote, then back to being people on campus. It was tough, and a lot of things got shined that like people didn't really think about. It's a lot that you. I mean, just think about just doing regular home repairs. Like, there's things that you'd be like, all right, well, it's not that big of a deal. I can kind of do one thing every year and I'll be okay. And then it's like, and if you neglect a couple of years, you can kind of skate by with it. But then it's just like, oh, something happens, and it's like, oh, like this happened and that happened, and it's like a domino. It's just like, yeah, no, like you needed to fix these stairs, and this roof was like really rough shape.
That kind of goes to like what you said about the COVID. What kind of happened with businesses dealing on the entertainment side? So Disney, you saw what happened with Disney, but a lot of people don't realize it's a lot of these businesses. They might make millions or even billions of dollars, but they're actually living paycheck to paycheck like regular people. Because if you look at AMC theaters right before COVID, right before the shutdown, they took on a lot of debt. Like maybe I think a year before the shutdown, they took on a lot of debt to refurbish all of their theaters.
Yeah,
a couple of my theaters, almost all of I have 3 theaters that are relatively close to me that are AMC. Yep. They all got new seating, leather seats, recliners. Mm-hmm. One of them turned into a dine-in theater. So food and menu had to change. They had to order other little things for some of the other theaters that does like flatbread pizzas and stuff like that. So they took on a lot of debt, and then they just started their subscription program, which is AMC A-List. They were just about to turn a profit on that, and then all of a sudden, everything got shut down. Everything got shut down, and the entertainment side, which kind of goes with the Disney side, that hurt. And people are like, oh man, I'm not going to the movie theater, blah blah blah. But
and that's how you hear.
I understand. I understand you might not want to go or whatever, but this is a fact. AMC movie theaters is the biggest chain in the world, movie theater wise.
Yeah.
When you're the biggest chain, what goes along with the biggest chain? That means you're the most employed. So if you have the most employed having trouble, that pertains to people's jobs. So and then it pertains to our entertainment as far as comics or movies, TV shows. That means they're not going to spend as much money on good quality stuff because, hey, I can't give you $200 million for this movie because, we'd have to make $800 million. And last time we did a movie, we only made $600 million. So it's like, it's all has a domino effect in the whole. You look at not the economy, but the budgets of stuff because of COVID and all that stuff that happened. It's tough. So like that's why people Disney. People talk about Disney. What kills me when people talk about Disney, I know you hear this all the time. Oh man, Disney, they're making crap. And you're like Guardians made over 800 million. Like this movie made over 500 million. This movie, they've had
No Way Home made
for a studio that everybody says they haven't made anything good, and they're not making any money. They're like, I think they still are number one 2023 as far as much money as far as studio. It could change if Blue Beetle does make $1 billion just like Barbie, but I don't see that happening. But the problem is they spent a lot. So a lot of people don't realize that, think, oh man, they didn't do well, blah, 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 but it's like, I think everything was profitable on the Disney side. I think last time I checked, it was.
The other thing to go by what you're saying too, is like when you're saying, because I'm not even just thinking about just the employees and their jobs and everything like that. You got to think about when it comes to, just the movies in general, when you're saying, it's the biggest one worldwide. So it's just like, all right, so then if that goes under, then the exposure for the movies goes under, and then it's just like, and just thinking of it on just like the most base level, it's like, so if the biggest chain goes under and then the next biggest one is going to do that, I mean, okay, fine, it's going to scoop up that profit. But if you think the biggest chain is not doing so hot, I'm sure the smaller chains aren't doing it, any better. So then it's just like, all right, so where are you going to watch these movies? Do you think they're just going to stream them all? And that goes back to what Hudat's saying. If everything's going to go to streaming and you're just going to watch movies at home, they're not spending all that money on these movies. They're gonna give you, whatever they can give you for the amount of money that it's going to make, just because it's not going to matter about, it's going to matter about like who sees things in that first week or the first,
it's going to look like this.
And your subscriptions are going to go way up. Think about that.
That's already starting to go way up if people have noticed.
Yeah.
But you know what's going to happen? Like the kind of quality you'll get on streaming would be like watching a 90s sci-fi movie in 2023, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, you're like, what's going on?
I agree with you 100%. And I think that, and it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, if everything that was once in the movie theaters where they can get, the revenue off of, the movies, like who's to say it's not going to cost you money to watch every movie now on the streaming? It's going to be $10 every time you want to watch it or something like that. Or just in general, okay, so you don't want to pay us $10 to watch this movie, that's fine. We're going to just increase it will increase the subscription costs by $3 every couple months, and next thing you know, you're paying $37 a month for just to watch Disney Plus or whatever, and that'll be across all of them. Because so it's not quite the just I'll just watch it at home. It's just I'm not saying that if you want to watch movies at home, you go right ahead. You just understand what happens with that. It's not just going to be the happy medium of everybody else will go see them, I'll just watch them here. If they don't, if a lot more people kind of take that mindset on where it's like, yeah, it's not worth it to go to the movies, then, it's going to vastly change how we see things, how things get delivered to us, and then, what we actually get to see, just because it's going to be very different. It's not like the same where it's like, well, I'll just wait for these to come out and on DVD, or I'll just do it like this. It really is a weird time. Like when I think about it, just because it's still the recovery, and as much as people want to be like, oh, we're back to normal, it's still the recovery, and a lot of things are hinging on people kind of getting back to as close to normal as it was that it can be, like as possible. Just because if they don't get back to that, then things have to change. There's nothing you can do about it. It just
what else can happen? I just thought of something. It's like you got to think of alternative ways to make certain money that you want to make. Like two of my favorite movies this year have been Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible. That's probably my favorite movie this year. That it's made like over 500 million, but honestly, that should be $1 billion movie. That should have made more than Barbie. But that's my favorite movie. The Turtles movie actually should be making way more money because it's actually a good movie. It's a good movie. Like if you get past us comic collectors or people want to keep everything like the old guard, if we get past a little, like it's not the same as the original, it's actually a really good movie. If you get past that, it has little hints of old stuff for the people who remember stuff. Like that was good. And then you can take ideas from like the Turtles. A lot of people don't know this. The Turtles revenue, because and they're smart how they did this. They did it just like the old days. They did the Turtles revenue, and they include not just the movie, I guess toys, clothing, anything dealing with this Turtles movie that came out. You wouldn't even. I'll give you a guess of what their revenue they produce. Not saying how much they netted, but this is how much revenue they produce for this movie and everything else. You got a guess?
I say 2.5 billion.
You're high, but it's in the billions, but it's just 1 billion. Yeah, that's that. But when you look at the box office,
everything like you're saying, when you're saying like all these different things, I'm like, all right, it's got to be a big number. So let's see what that is.
Yeah. So like, but they that's Turtles' bread and butter back in the day. You remember?
Yeah.
That was their bread and butter back in the day. Like we're gonna touch toys, we're gonna touch clothing, we're gonna touch this, that, the other, and we're gonna have a TV show, or in this case, we're gonna have a movie, and that's just gonna add money on top. And since the animation, it's an animated movie, not a live action, it's a little less costly. axe Barbie because they use those actors, but now they got to pay what's the name, $50 million because it made $1 billion. So she must have had not a 1%. She had a 0.5%. She had a 0.5% on the revenue side. That means like she gets 50 million. If she had a 1%, she would have made 100 million.
Yeah, well, and that's
no, not 100 million. Not 100 million. Wait, am I saying it right?
And what's happening now, right?
No,
so
I'm saying it wrong.
The actors and writers are striking because they want more money. You don't go to the movies if they lose that place to show you their stuff. Like, guess what? These people aren't going to get paid right, and everything they're fighting for is because it's going to be we can't even pay. That's the thing that can kick them right in the face. Is like no one's going to the movies. We can't pay you more money. We're not making more money, which is not like. And I know there's more to it than just that, but it's just like that's a pretty big thing to think about when it happens like that. And then I'm just thinking, as far as, there's just the way things kind of come about. It's not quite as easy to think about. And the other thing too, here's what I'll say to everybody who's like, it has to be the same. Guess what? You're going to die one day, right? No, I'm serious. I'm going to say this and I'll be honest with you. You're going to die one day. Like you have to think about this and really be like honest with yourself and everything else. Do you know what especially with something like the Turtles? And I'm going to use the Turtles. They're not marketing for you, right? You being a grown human being, a grown adult, most likely has a child, or they're thinking that you have children. They're trying to get them because they're trying
to get the kids back. They're trying to get the kids back.
They don't give a shit about you. Like it's like okay, fine, you great, but like we want to hook them. Like you. We already got you.
Already hooked. Yeah, you already hooked. You already hooked.
Yeah, if you're anywhere, I would say above the age of maybe like for them to care about you, I would say you have to be above the age of about 18, 19 years old. If you're above that, they already got you, and they know they're gonna keep you coming back. That's why when everyone's like freaking out, these like people that like I love the original trilogy of Star Wars. I saw them in the theaters. You're to them, you're dead and buried. They don't give a fuck about you. Nothing you care about in that movie means anything to them. They're worried about your kid. What do your grandkids think about our movies? What do you care about my grandkids? Because we don't fucking care about you. We've sold you the same movie for 35 years. We don't care. We want to make sure that this keeps going. So that's what I say to anybody who's like, it has to be the same. Well, guess what? Even though you think it's made for you, it's kind of not. It's made for other people around you. It's made for people that are younger than you.
I've been preaching that too. I'm preaching that too because it's the stuff that we like. It's using the stuff that we love, but it's made for other people. Yeah, but to talk about the movie theater again, like you touched about,
going on inside comments.
Movie theaters, you could think of movie theaters this kind of way. All right, movie theaters don't make any really money off the movie ticket. They don't really make any money because if like for my case, if I have the AMC A-list, I pay $21 a month. I can see 3 movies a week in any format under my program. So if I see a movie in Dolby, I see a movie in IMAX or IMAX 3D, it's those are like $17. Yeah. If I see 2 movies a month, in that I'm the one that they're losing money off of me. Yeah. And if I don't get any concessions, I get 0 concessions.
Oh yeah,
they're losing even more money because they got to pay the workers. And guess what? I'm pretty sure the workers. If I go see Oppenheimer, for example, that's a 3-hour movie. Yeah. If I pay $17 to see that movie and it's 3 hours, the worker or workers getting paid more than that in those 3 hours.
Probably.
And you got to have air conditioning costs, water costs, all the stuff that I'm going to use for a 3-hour
electricity.
movie.
Yeah, all that.
And they pay for the movies. My wife just reminded they pay for the movies too. But they have to pay for those movies to get those movies.
Yeah.
And then they have to go right behind and say, Chris, I'm the movie theater, and Chris is the who I buy the movie from. And guess what? I have to go back and give him 1/3 of the profit.
Yep. And even beyond that too. And they got to clean up after you every single time after every showing. So there's that. That's why they sit there. So if you go in the movie theaters and they're like, "Hey, it's popping in, getting you let's go."
Is it 1 or 2/3? And then it depends on the movie. It depends on the movie because I know back in the day, and I say it's not too long back in the day when George Lucas was making the new trilogy of Star Wars. He made deals with theaters that they like. I think some theaters only showed his movie, or they had to keep his. They had to keep his movie in theater for so long, like in so like they paid him like in a certain percentage. It was like crazy. So it just and then it, like I said, depends. I guarantee you, we're not gonna know about it because Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame made over $3 billion. Or even you can go say, was it Avatar? That's a Disney movie. They could actually make side deals with the movie theater that we don't know about and say, like, yeah, we'll let you like Avatar. They're like Avatar, like, oh yeah, James Cameron be like, all right, AMC, you can, I'll let you show my movie for this price, but you're gonna have to keep it in IMAX for 3 weeks.
Yeah,
movie theaters are gonna freak out because they're gonna freak out. You know why? Because they can't show the new release that comes out a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from now in IMAX because you have to have that movie in IMAX.
Well, the thing that's funny is that Quentin Tarantino told a story about that, and I think it was either Endgame or it was I think it was Endgame, and he had it was either Hateful Eight or something like that. He had something coming out that exact same time, and there was a theater, I think so. And there was a theater that he wanted to put it in, and they're like, no, you can't. Like Endgame's coming here, and then and he got real pissed off at Disney because I guess
was it the ArcLight in California, like the ArcLight, because I think it's only like one screen.
Big theater. He's like, I'm premiering it here. It has to be here. It has, it's always been that type of stuff. And then he got real pissed off at Disney because he's like, Miramax was owned by Disney. That was our thing. Like I worked for them for many years and everything else, and they screwed me. And it's just like, well, you know what? Like I mean, for them,
it was a little bit Disney. It was a little bit Disney and a little bit the movie theater. It can't put it all on Disney.
Of course, because that's the thing. It's like the theater's not going to say, but yeah. So you want to show you a Hateful Eight movie versus Avengers Endgame, the thing that people have been trying to like decode for months and freak out. It's just like So it was just like, but that I do think is true. That's why it's just like I think that's why some movies get the boot real quick, and then that's why other movies stay forever. It's like, oh, this movie's still in theaters, really? It's been here forever. So
that's why certain movies, like I could name like 4 movies that are still in theaters because they're still making money. They're not making like Barbie's been number 1 for the last 4 weeks. Oppenheimer, I think, has been number 2 for the last 4 weeks. So those movies are still in theaters. You got the Turtles movie. They still need the all schools are not back in, so that's going to stay in theaters as long as it can. So it's going to make money while all the kids are still out. So I would say by the end of the month, Turtles might be out of theaters.
Probably.
But that's going to still go be in there.
It's a funny.
What else? You got Mission Impossible is actually still going to be in theaters. You know why? Because it's in the top 10. A lot of people don't realize certain movies stay in theaters because they stay in the top 10 of making money. And that might not sound like a lot, but if they're making $10 to $20 million every week, why would I leave? I'm still making, that money goes towards my back end. He always talking about the price of freedom. But that was a little indie movie. That movie has killed its the amount of money it's made. It's not a movie that I want to see. I know what it's about. That's actually a movie you could actually, that they actually could stream. Because like almost type of thing, but that's still in theaters if you can find it. So you got a lot of stuff that's gonna it's gonna stay around because it's making money. I don't know about any movies that are coming out besides the Marvels. Is that still coming out this year?
I thought it was supposed to be November because I know it was supposed to be earlier than that. I don't remember.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be in the summer. It was supposed to be like June or July or something, but they got moved back. Yeah, it switched spots with Haunted Mansion, and I know Haunted Mansion is like they probably wishing
they probably wanted that for October.
Yeah, they switched spots because Haunted Mansion was supposed to be in November, which I heard Haunted Mansion is actually good. This
I wouldn't expect it not to be.
I mean, you got Jamie Lee Curtis, Rosario Dawson, Owen Wilson. Like I can go on about some more. You got some more actors and actresses that are in this movie that actually are good.
Danny DeVito, Yeah, there's a bunch of good people in there. Let's see, Danny DeVito's in it.
He's in it too. Yeah, he looks funny as crap.
Oh yeah, but let's see. So you got, let's see. So I mean, this as of this Friday, you have Blue Beetle, that movie Strays.
I hate to say it, Blue Beetle might.
Gran Turismo.
Blue Beetle. What else? Oh, Gran Turismo. I actually want to see
Gran Turismo's in a week. Let's see. Equalizer 3.
I want to see that too.
I'm just going from like movies that I know off the top of my head.
Blue Beetle. Hello, and this will be something good to talk about 2 weeks from now. This is my prediction. This weekend, I do not think Blue Beetle will be top 3. Well, no, I shouldn't say not top 3. I think it won't be past top 3. I don't think it'd be past number 3 this weekend.
Oh, probably not.
I think I think Barbie and Oppenheimer is still going to be 1, 2, and I don't think it'd be past. I don't think it's going to get past those 2, which is not good because that means it's not going to make over, 30 million or something like that.
Probably not. So I'm just looking through like the list of things, and like I'm gonna be honest with you. Say a lot of people be like, oh, like you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to this, and I keep saying like, don't be surprised when everybody complains about these hero movies not being as good and all the rest of shit, and like superhero fatigue and all that. Trust me, like they're angling to make romantic comedies and shit like that to be the number one shit. Because look, in September 8th. My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, the third fucking one, because they want that shit to come back. And everybody was sitting there freaking out like, oh, these Marvel movies and this thing sucks and that thing sucks. Keep talking bad about them and keep saying how you don't like them. And then they're going to stop making them. And then we're going to have My Greek Wedding 15. You watch and see. Like, there's nothing else really of note. Expendables 4, that's in the end of September. Let's see. Saw 10. There's a 10th Saw movie coming out. Another movie called The Creator. The Paw Patrol movie. Oh boy, I know Alex didn't want to see that. Kill Room with Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, Joe Manganiello. That looks gonna be kind of cool. Let's see. Bunch of horror movies in October. Not Mac and Me, but Max and Me. I don't know what that is.
Yahweh said Fast and the Furious 32. He said racing on the flat earth. Oh my god. I am excited with Equalizer 3 and what's up, Sands? Sands in the building.
Yeah, the Marvels is supposed to come out in November. November 10th is what it's saying. Let's see what else. The Skulls, that's weird. That's on Sci-Fi though. That's weird. Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Songbirds and the Snakes. So they're doing another
Hunger Games. They're doing a prequel. It's like they're doing a prequel on that.
Trolls Band Together.
I guess I'll be seeing that.
Let's see. That's in late November.
That's probably gonna be around Thanksgiving time frame.
Animal Crossing is getting a movie. That's weird. Okay.
That's weird.
I can't. I'm not seeing. Oh, Wonka. So there's a Willy Wonka movie. It's just called Wonka. And
I thought you were talking about Kyle Wonka. Kenny Kyle Wonka. Kyle's getting his own movie.
Let's see. Aquaman is coming out in the end of December, right before Christmas, on the 20th, and Color Purple is getting a remake for Christmas. So that's going to be a big one if it's coming out on Christmas, which it says it is. Let's see. Target number 1. I don't know what that is, but it's getting a Christmas release. But that's it for the rest of the movies. And then they're doing, I think, I don't know. I guess they're doing a Bob Marley movie in the beginning of January.
Oh yeah. I actually want to see that. I saw the trailer for it. Like after the show, look it up and look at the trailer. You see what I'm saying? I saw the trailer. I was like, that's going to be good. So I'm actually excited to see that.
His daughter did see it. Mine, I don't think has yet because she went to Disney with my wife, and my wife's family and stuff. They went down to Disney. I want to say like 2 weeks ago. No, Yeah, they got back last Tuesday, so they were down there for about a week, and they were just kind of hanging out and everything. I couldn't go because of work, but that's what they were doing. So she didn't go out to see it yet. I don't know if it'll be this weekend or next weekend or whatever, but she'll definitely end up seeing it at some point. She just hasn't had the chance to see it yet, but she will.
All right. So he said, Glitter and Duct Tape, how you doing? He said, did your daughter see the Barbie movie? My daughter saw the Barbie movie. She enjoyed it. It was not, it's just a movie, not to be overthought of. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it wasn't a bad movie. But she saw it. Yeah. My daughter saw it, and I laughed at some scenes, so it was enjoyable. But I guess as far as I can go with that. I wanted to do some shout outs at the end. I don't know if anything else you want to talk about, Chris, because I'm pretty much done, man. I don't have nothing else to talk about.
Not really much for me. I like trying to think. Not really much else. I mean, I discussed a lot of different stuff. My convention that I went to last week wasn't the most eventful thing on earth.
Oh, man, that sucks.
I mean, it was a fan expo, which is kind of rough to say, but the lineup was thin. It was very thin. And, I ended up getting some sketches, which is, nice. And I had a good time with that. I picked up a couple books, not too many. But it was just, it just, when it comes to the Boston Fan Expo, they really, really skimp on bringing people in. And I think part of the reason is because of the timing of it. I think that because it happens in early August, I don't know if that's too much conflicting with other stuff, but so it wasn't that like a lot of celebrities canceled because of the
when was that? Was that last week?
Yeah, so it was last weekend.
All right, so let me tell you what was
the 3rd and 5th, right? Sorry, it was the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So it was not last weekend.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is too close, in my opinion. A week apart is too close for convention. So, Fan Expo Chicago was actually last week.
Yeah.
And I saw people. And I was watching a dealer that I really liked. The dealers, which is Reese Rare Comics. They were in Dallas. Not Dallas. They were in Chicago Fan Expo, right? So they're Chicago Fan Expo. Unless they kept taking these pictures when nobody was around, which is possible. They probably took it before the show, but they don't have any pictures with people around their booth.
Yeah.
Every picture is like, which they probably done purposely to take so you can see the booth. But you would think they would take some. Usually they take some pictures. You got people shopping, and then they like show what people bought. They've done that a lot of times in New Orleans. I didn't see that at all in Chicago. I saw other people going, like other dealers at Chicago, but I didn't see anything going on. So I don't know what to say about those two expos being that close to each other. Just Terrificon in the same, like literally in the middle of those two.
Like Terrificon and Terrificon and Fan Expo were like night and day. So, I mean, it was just like Fan Expo. Terrificon had so many good people that it was like, I mean, it really is tough to do it all in one day. I ended up having to just because I don't live close enough to be able to, travel back and forth. So it's just like
you're not paying all that money for a hotel like other people.
Oh God, no! The hotel, the hotel at Mohegan Sun, it is unbelievable. It's very, very nice, but it's extremely expensive, and because they know what they're giving you. You have just a really, really nice room. You have these great restaurants. You have a casino on top of the convention, so you have all this stuff all around you. If you stay there, it's just like you're in a great spot, and it's just one of those things where it's just like you're paying for, I guess, luxury if nothing else. I mean, even if you stay nearby, I think the price will go down a little bit, but it's just like they still know that you're in the same area and they know why you're there. So it's just like you're not staying at Mohegan, but you're still going to Terrificon. So instead of the rooms being probably like $180 a night, well, it's gonna be like, probably like 245 or 250, and it's just like that's for 3 days, that's $750. It's a lot of money. When you consider that plus, going to get stuff signed, going to try to get, picking stuff up, trying to have to eat, having to travel, you know what I mean, all that type of stuff. So it's a lot. It's not as cheap as you would expect. And just with the other part of it too, where it's just like, and then you have another convention, the next week. So it's like, it's a lot to do in a short span of time. But I think they're trying to combat that because next year, I think the Fan Expo is going to be at the end of June. So I think that like that's kind of going to be I think that's the way of maybe moving it out, getting a better, I guess, crop of talent to be able to come in. Hopefully, we'll see. Because I don't, not sure. I just know that like for the comic, the Artist Alley, it was thin. I was able to get some really good stuff. I met some awesome artists that were there. But in terms of when people like, what draws in the bigger crowds and what draws in a lot more people is having those bigger names like Chris Claremont, like Walt Simonson, like Adam Hughes, like all these different people that like are at different spots, and it's just like I think because there's another convention that happens in Boston. This year was in April, but it's a smaller convention as far as like the size is concerned, but they had just A1 talent. And it was just like, if they can draw that, if a smaller show with less people and less space can draw in that much more talent than you, and it's 2 years in a row they put them to shame like that. It's just like something's got to change, and they know that. So they focus too much on the celebrities, and that I think is what is biting them in the ass. Is that the celebrities aren't getting everybody in there just because when everybody came, they came to see. So the biggest lines that existed were Hayden Christensen on the first day, and then he was gone. And then, Hayden Christensen on Saturday, Peter Cullen on Saturday and Sunday, and pretty much Fonzie, I want to say, Henry Winkler had a pretty decent line. Everybody else, like you could just walk right up to them. Like there was like people weren't.
That's what I told you. That's what I told you about New Orleans. The only people that actually had a line in New Orleans was Ashley Eckstein, but her line was not even close to what's his name from Stranger Things. Think of that dude's name.
Oh, like he's the one.
No, not David Harbour. He's the one that they're talking about wanting to be Johnny Storm, Fantastic Four. I can't think of his name. But he had a stupid line. I was like, that dude's that popular? Like, dude, his line, and then he had like another wraparound line. He was behind curtains. Like he was like the CIA guy or something like that. Dude,
is he one of the kids that's on the show, or is he?
No, he's not. He's not a little kid. He's like one of the older kids.
Oh, so it's probably the kid that's Steve.
Nah, it wasn't Steve. I know
you're talking about. No, you're talking about Joseph Quinn.
Yes, Joseph Quinn. That's exactly.
I love that guy.
Yeah, he was. His line was ridiculous. Like I was telling you, like I told you this before. Like people like Giancarlo Esposito had nobody in line Friday.
That's crazy.
He had a little bit of a line Saturday, but no line Sunday. What's his name? Not Rocky, but Carl Weathers. Like
he's going to.
Yeah, he had no line. Like they had no line Friday, and I was like, if I didn't want to spend so much money on the Star Wars crew to get stuff signed, I would have got stuff signed by them. But I had to pick and choose, And what's his name? Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi had a little bit of a line, but no line on a Friday. I pretty much got to have a private signing with him because I was with Capture Collectibles. Shout out to them. They kind of told me this wait towards the end. They were all going up, and basically you can actually have chit chat with them while you're getting stuff signed, blah blah, and nobody's around you. Like that was actually a cool experience to do with Sam Raimi. Cool. It
was definitely, and then like the Star Wars people had I was actually had a decent line, But like the voice cast of like the Mario games is that nobody cared about them. I mean, how that's like wow, that's kind of crazy. That's like
the only you know what else who had a line though? The anime people. Anime people, like we had One Punch. When I was the voice for One Punch Man, he had a line, and like the main actor for like My Hero Academia, they had like lines. But besides that, like all the other side characters, because they had about 10 characters here Hero Academia, but only like 2 of them were like the main people. So, but and they all were actually relatively, I would say, affordable to get signatures. I think they all like must have agreed upon a price because everybody was like $40. And that's actually smart. Like, hey, I'm not gonna be 60, and you're gonna be 20. Like, let's all be the same. So, but yeah.
So I mean, for that, that's my only that's the only harsh criticism I always have of them, and I've had that for about 3 years now. It's just like, dude, you gotta give us something. Like, it's just like, I mean, and then I like, because I always do like the survey, like, oh, like what did you think? I'm like, look, I was like, you guys sit there and show your guest list.
When's your roll out? When's your Roll Island Con? Sorry to cut you off.
Rhode Island is in November. In the beginning.
Okay. Well, whenever you want to go over the guest list on the show, like, because I was thinking about doing it as well for Fan Expo New Orleans, but that's not until January. So it'd probably be around November actually when I really know the guest list. Well, it'd probably be actually December when we know the guest list is actually locked in. Yours might be like at least October, at least a month before you kind of know this is what we have.
I check it every once in a while just to see if anything's changed, but and there hasn't been much as far as anything. So I'm thinking that I can, I think probably checking maybe like end of September might be okay. Just because they'll probably have more people at that point. Or at least
I'll tell you one person I hope comes down to New Orleans. I hope one time, or not even to New Orleans. I hope he goes to a convention that I attend. Is actually Kevin Eastman. That's one person I have not met. I've met Stan Lee. He came to New Orleans. I've met Neil Adams. He's every year until he stopped, till like COVID happened when it had stopped, cons kind of stopped going. He came to New Orleans every year. So I met him before, so I've met a lot of legends, a lot of, people like that, but I've never met Kevin Eastman. Yeah. So I never met Kevin Eastman. So I would hope to meet him. I want to do something.
Come on, goddamn Rhode Island. Woo!
I might have to send you like one book or something to get signed. I actually might have to send you that Turtle Adventures book you sent me just to let him sign that one to add to it. Because I want to get everybody's signature who had something to do with either that book or the Turtles. But I want to share these 2 things while people are watching. So please thumbs up this channel, thumbs up and subscribe. But I want to let you guys know, if you haven't followed these people, follow them. So I'm gonna share my screen. One guy, I don't normally do this, was a buddy of ours, the Uncanny Kyle Walker. Reason why I'm sharing this, I want to get him to 1,000 subs. He's at 988. I know out of the 5 people who are watching, or anybody who watches on the rewind, I know some of you guys are not subscribed to Kyle. So he's like probably the biggest X-Men fan or collector I know besides Judge Dredd. So like, honestly, if you have, and he does love Doctor Who. He does like the Doctor Who as well. So like, this is a guy, if he ever X-Men question, Judge Dredd question, or Doctor Who question, I would say go to him. That's I know if I have questions, I'll go to him.
When we say X-Men, we're not just talking about like just the actual X-Men team, like the X-Men titles like Uncanny and the
whole thing. We're talking about the whole thing.
We're talking about the entire thing, like even like the little offshoot miniseries like Fallen Angel. He knows all that.
Everything. Like, he's only missing, I want to say, maybe 3 books.
Yep.
To complete X-Men. It might be less than that. I know X-Men 1 he needs, and I think X-Men 3. Oh no, X-Men 4. X-Men 4.
Yeah, it was 4.
He needs 1 and 4.
He needed a 50.
I think he was picking up a 3. I think he was picking up, but he was picking up some of the ones that we like, the offshoot ones, and I think he's either down to 2 or 3. It's at least 2, maybe 3, and I think he was working on a 4.
What's up, Nicholas Goltra?
So please sub up Kyle, man. Tell him who that and Boston Chris sent you. Like if you check out some of he says Grail X-Men crossover key that he just picked up 4 days ago. That was he even gets all the crossovers dealing with the X-Men. So that's another one he just knocked off. He doesn't have a lot of.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of CGC books, but he did do a CGC Alex Ross unboxing. So definitely check that out. So check out our buddy Kyle, man. Sub him up. See if you can get him, closer to 1,000. I want to see if anybody has subbed him up now. That would be actually really
he
cool.
only needs 12. I mean,
he's only need 12. Like, yeah, and I think my channel and people who watch this might can get him to 12. Look, we got him one. We got him one. 989. He only needs 11. So hopefully next time we do this show in 2 weeks, we can get him closer. Like we can see and watch back that he's gotten even closer to 1,000. So I appreciate you guys that sub and check it out. Check his channel out. Like I said, he's 11 away now. Thank you. The other thing I want to shout out is something that myself, Bleeker, the Tony Sanders, I'm trying to think. I think Biggie Shack, a lot of other people are in the running for is the CBC Awards. So that's the Comic Book Community Awards. They recognize community members in YouTube. I think they have the link. I don't know if you can vote anymore, but they have the nominees or the people who have been nominated. If you go through the link, you can check out all the channels through Instagram. So shout out to Brian LCS and any of the other crew people who are helping him do that, because if you go to his link and you check out the CBC Awards and you check out the nominees, the full list, if you see this, they all actually have hyperlinks.
Yep.
So if I click on 3 Men in the Basement, which I already follow 3 Men, it'll send me directly to their YouTube page. So shout out to Brian and the CBC Awards. I know Bleeker's on here. If I scroll down, you'll see his name. There you go, Bleeker Street. He's nominated for. Yeah, he's not. Roscoe's on there. Comic book chiropractor's on here as well. Look at that.
Comic Journey. There's a lot of people that's on there that we know. And a lot of people that you'll know and that you'll see. And then the good part, though, the thing I would say is that, go ahead and check out.
Look at this. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? I don't know this guy. This guy's on here.
Yep. I didn't make enough content to get any kind of nomination, but that's okay.
Hey, you know what's going to happen? What's going to happen next year? We're going to get nominated for this show, it's going to be who that and Boston Chris's graphic content. So that's I kind of told Chris and a few other guys, I was like, I want to kind of focus on this show, our Pack and Chat show, and my regular unboxings. When I show you guys, my unboxings, what somebody told me, like all our unboxes fire. So I want to focus on those things and just have fun doing it like the old days. So I might not have all the crazy videos. It might not be pre-recorded where I can drop in all this crazy stuff. But I kind of just like talking to you guys, talking to the chat and having fun. What's up, Lady Fantastic, coming through at the end, evening nerds. Nicholas, I didn't even see you because I was doing the share. And K-Pop has said it's the final noms are released on August 25th. So I don't know how does that work, but people. Yeah, I don't know how that all works. I don't know if you got to continue to vote because I don't know, but K-Pop can guess say that in the chat.
Well,
but,
I think the voting part hasn't happened yet. I think if anything, nominees, I think if they haven't stopped them, then you might still be able to nominate, and if not, then once that's done, then you'll be able to start voting on everybody for all the categories. So.
Yeah, so
K-pop
I think I was nominated for like unboxing, which I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna drop a couple of unboxing pre-recorded videos of some monster books. I'll probably do them this week, this next upcoming days. So definitely check that out. Since I was nominated for that, I guess I'll give the people the big books that they want, and then those unboxing. So I have 2 pre-recorded. I'll drop as premieres, and you can see what silliness that I picked up. That's all I'm gonna say. One of them is very unexpected. The other one is expected, but it's a story behind that book on the other one. So it's kind of cool. It says they're adding up the votes, verifying if anyone now is qualified, then goes voting phase to December. So yeah, I guess it's like a committee type thing. So it just goes from there. But that's all I can say. Appreciate just being nominated. And that's all I got, man. Oh, yeah, Tony Sanders next week. Check out The Hunt. He got a lot of big matches. I want to shout that out as well. And like I said, I'll be doing a premiere of an unboxing on my channel, so check that out. And shout out to Elite Comics 11. He's not a channel sponsor, but I consider him a friend. It helps me, they help me sell stuff through consignment on Instagram. So shout out to Elite Comics 11. I might show a little video at the end. But that's all I got, Chris. You got anything else you want to shout out, talk about? Before we go.
Right now, I don't have anything coming up on my channel. I do know that we're just kind of leading up to next week with The Hunt on next Friday. But other than that, no, I'm just kind of hanging out. You'll see me.
We will talk about like our goals for the rest of this year and going into next year.
Yeah, definitely. I can, because that's starting to shape up a little bit more. I still have some things I want to get, but it's just kind of, where we have like 3.5 months left of the year. It's kind of
it's going by fast.
Yeah, it's just kind of getting to us time to start thinking about, all right, so how'd you do this year? What are you trying to pick up for next year? And where's everything go? So I'm happy with the progress I made. I got a lot of books that I didn't think I would get. But there's still a couple more that before the year's out.
Hopefully, that'd be nice to see if we can get 1 or 2 more books off our list that we don't have. Because I know what you've gotten. If people have watched The Hunt, you kind of see. Same thing if you watch The Hunt, you kind of see with me as well. But some stuff I haven't shown. But yeah, it's honestly, because I know what you've gotten and I know who we both have been buying from. We've actually done very well this year.
Oh yeah,
very well this year on a slower year, I would say, for as not as much craziness going on in like the whole comic community, all the FOMO. It's not too much craziness with that this year. But yeah, that's gonna be fun doing that when we talk about that. But yeah, like you said, The Hunt, man, Hunt's gonna be it's always fun. And if you ever want to be on The Hunt, man, just hit one of us up, man. And we'll talk to Tony, talk to the guys, and try to get you on. It doesn't matter who you hit up. We'll get back to you. It's always good to have new people come have some fun, even if you just want to do it one time, win or lose. Just come on. Or if you want to come commentate, that's another thing people don't realize. You can actually volunteer to commentate. And maybe count the votes and stuff like that. That's a different way of you might want to be involved because it actually would help. So, you got anything else, Chris? I'm just rambling at this point. What's up, Legend? Legend still here?
No, nothing too much. It's just that's pretty much it for me.
That's it. That's all. You know what? I'm going to give the people a little bit of, if you guys have any questions before we go, I'm going to give you guys this video.
Nice night.
Mm-hmm. Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any questions, you heard them. You got 30 seconds. But yeah, like I said, shout out to everybody who watched. Appreciate you guys. Thumbs up. Check out Uncanny Kyle Walker. Check out the CBC Awards. Have some fun collecting, man. Keep collecting, get those books, and that's all I can say, man. So we'll see you on the next one. 10 episodes done. We're gonna get that 1-1 for the 11, and maybe we might have some other haul pickups. Who knows? We never know. We might not see. I don't know. So, see you guys. Peace out.